Hello, everyone.
Cunt.
And if you're watching this, wow, I'm a cunt. Yes. Welcome to our new series. In this mundane world, two Weebs discuss Isekai whilst avoiding doing the more important things in life. It's hosted by Sarah Life and myself. We're going to be talking all things Isekai. Sari, how are you today?
Hey, I'm pretty good, thanks. You?
Knackered, and I'm already getting bullied by you.
I mean, in fairness, I expected you to just redo it and imagine it be cut out, but
no,
we were referencing it now.
You think they ever cut out things to bully me? No. That's like the majority of our content. I highly expect someone eventually to make a reel, which is just the moments Mikey got bullied. So yeah, guys, we're going to be talking Isekai. Yeah, what is an Isekai?
Oh, sorry, I was just listening to the background music. It's quite nice and calming. So, Isekai, literally, another world, is used as the genre for where the protagonists or the main characters tend to get taken to another world, whether that is our own world in some cases or some other fantasy, sci-fi, whatever.
Yeah. Is there a literal definition of it? No, it's not English. What am I on about? It won't be.
Well, Isekai does literally mean another world.
Yeah, transitions into different world or other world. It's a genre of speculative fiction. Both portal fantasy and science fiction are included. It includes novels, light novels, films, manga, anime, and video games that revolve around a displaced person or people who are transported to and have to survive in another world, such as a fantasy world, virtual world, or a parallel universe. That is interesting, and we will take that into account later on, because that has just answered one of our questions that we did not even think about. Fun! So, we know what an Isekai is, but Lilith, what makes a good Isekai?
I mean, as hugely subjective as that is, to me, it had the world. In case of a regular Isekai, we go into from our world to another world. The world they go into has to be interesting. There has to be something about it to draw me in. In terms of reverse Isekai, where I know we'll talk about later, the characters have to be interesting. There has to be something that grabs.
Yeah.
Also, big plot helps.
Oh, 100%. So, I think an example of a good Isekai would be that time I was reincarnated as a slime. You know, that is picture perfect, word by word, and it's not like paint by numbers Isekai either. It's done perfectly. I feel the whole meme isn't it? There's usually two memes in the Isekai genre, and that's either the knife kun or truck kun. Hey, they gave it to us.
Oh yeah. The only thing that annoys me about Truck-kun, and I love Truck-kun, is that one of the most famous and well-used gifs of Truck-kun isn't from an Isekai. Because it's Zombieland Saga.
That's hilarious. But I feel like when we talk about slime, that one in particular, it just had all the right elements. A good story, relatable characters, all the right tropes. Be it from your chilled pink head girl to your busty mommy that doesn't know how to cook,
which is also pink haired.
You're all of your you've got everything.
You've got you say with the Oni that come in, you say, you got the pink hair priestess. She's a really cute character. You've got a lot of the goblin girls, which are adorable, and then you've got the edgy side, because later on the demons come into it, and you've got the orcs, and it's just fuck you. It has a group in it for everyone.
Yeah, it's perfect. Now, what about the bad? What makes a bad Isekai? And I'm not about the so bad it's good. It's bad.
I'm gonna say that what makes a bad Isekai is completely ignoring the fact it's a fucking Isekai. Maybe mentioning it twice in the first episode, and barely, if ever, bringing it up again. I'm looking at you, drugstore in another world. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, that's a big one to call out, and I completely agree. My biggest pet hate with Isekais is that a lot of them, a hell of a lot of them, that don't reference the original world. Or you may see
Yeah.
it once at the start, and like this just becomes irrelevant. I get, plots. Who needs the old world, but you kind of do.
Yeah.
Drugstore in Another World is a.
I mean, there was some really adorable moments in that. Like the characters, it had a lot of promise, but it was so bad.
There was a distinct lack of pink-haired girls for my liking.
You know, I'm going to skip ahead a bit because we're going to talk about characters later, and like a lot of like isekai have one-note characters. Mike, you're a one-note character.
Maybe. And I can highly agree. That was one of the ones that like I just flew under my radar for a long time. And when I gave it a go, it was just like, why did I bother? For anyone who doesn't know, the full title is Drugstore in Another World: The Slow Life of a Cheat Pharmacist. It's, you know what? If you watch it, I give props to you. Don't get me wrong, there are definitely worse out there, but it's a solid like 3 or 4.
Honestly, just watch Pharmacy in Another World, whatever that one's called. Don't bother watching this one.
Yeah. I know the one you mean. And then there's the ugly, the ones that are so good it's bad, or so bad it's good, or the ones that were really good but got hated on to the point where like people just disregard later seasons, even if later seasons are amazing. They had that one moment they just fucked it up.
Yeah, I mean, I know when we discussed this off camera, like we had a bit of a not quite disagreement. We had like alternative views on what the ugly would be. And you've kind of given them both there, but like my example, as I say, was Sword Art Online SAO.
Yeah,
because of what it did. Like everyone loves it. It's whether you think it's overrated, underrated, mediocre. Like it brought isekai into the mainstream. But oh sweet good God, does it have its faults?
Yes, it does. I have a lot of problems with Sword Art Online, and that says a lot because I love it. I own all the games. I own a lot of the merch. I own most of the manga, the anime. It's as big as the big 3 for myself. But like, for one, don't talk about Alfheim as the golden rule. It's when season 2 puts a bad taste in the mouth for the rest of the shows, people then end up missing things like Gun Gale Online or Alicization, which the latest series in Alicization is like the best one in the series, even better than the original. Yeah. And that's an argumentative point, but that's opinion. And like SAO as a whole, so it has all the right character tropes, it has all the right character designs, it has great character interactions. Some of its animation could be better. I'm looking at you, Kirito, from like episode 1 or 2, where you're slicing the kobolds in half and your face distorts. There's a lot of things. And then there's just the downright ugly that it does, because it just, let's be real, Alfheim would have been great if they just removed a couple of things or tweaked some plot points.
I mean, Alfheim in and of itself, I think, is an interesting world. It's an interesting concept. If they had just got rid of the whole bird in a cage captured by a creepy elf, it would have been like that. That was the worst bit.
It was a bit too, like, don't get me wrong, I've watched NSFW shows, I've watched R-rated shows.
Yeah.
That one was just a bit too R-rated for the show that it was.
It didn't fit with the rest of it.
No, not at all. Like, we'd known since the start it had a dark plot, and I think, controversially, to argue against both of us, because we're both in agreement here, at the end of the day, SEO has always had a dark plot, and people don't seem to realize it. You're in a killing game. You're literally in a scaled up version of the Hunger Games in a virtual world. From episode 1, people have been dying IRL because of this world. You've coped with depression, you've coped with anxiety, you've coped with split personality disorder, you've coped with murderers, you've coped with suicide in the when the last member of the Moonlit Black Cats just jumps off. So like, in hindsight, when you put it all together as well, I'm kind of like, actually, it was always that dark, but I feel like just it was the specific topic that they touched on. Was the problem.
Like, I completely agree. It's a very dark plot that's been coloured in nicely.
Yeah.
But when they start to go on to the cage trapped girl sort of angle, they don't do it well, and there's even a bit to say, they don't really do the rest of it like well. I mean, you get a lot from Kirito, you get a lot of his sort of flashbacks, like, oh my god, I can't kill people. That's done quite well, but it's not touched on as much as it could be. But
Yeah.
when the captured Asuna bit comes in, that is a hard focus, and it just doesn't fit with the rest of it. Like,
It was painful.
yeah, things like that are meant to be uncomfortable, sure, but like personally, I didn't even see an artistic merit in having that in there.
Like, there was certain, like, this is a very unpopular opinion, but there's certain things that I did like kind of like about it. So like the Kirito and Sugaha, or Kirigaya and Sugaha kind of story, where you find out about their backstory, and like even Sugu's love for him. I liked it. I'm sorry. It made sense. People are like, oh my god, no, that's incest. I'm like, well, I mean, is it really?
It's okay, they're cousins. It's all legal.
Exactly. I mean, we don't know how many times they removed over there. They have that's the other thing we forget. Alabama. It's like, they obviously have their own kind of like things in Japan as well.
Yeah.
But the other thing was that I hated the bit at the end where Asuna was in chains, and like that got like really far. But I loved the bit where Kirito went absolutely apeshit and cut him in half so he had like a head left. It set it up quite nicely.
Yeah, I mean,
and I think I actually hated the IRL bits more in that series in particular. But like, it's ugly. It's the point there. It sets it off the rails.
I'll stand by what I said. I don't think there's artistic merit in those scenes in particular. But what I will say that does do very well is it makes you despise the villain.
Yeah.
Even if you don't like Asuna that much, you despise that guy.
And genuinely speaking, I think anybody who says they don't like Asuna are lying to themselves. I'm sorry, but what's not to like? She's not a horrible person.
She's not. I think a lot of the hate Asuna gets is because she's kind of bland. Like she's a basic protagonist.
And there comes my final issue with SEO before we move on, is that they didn't keep to the source material for the first season. This is what Progressive does. So for anyone who hasn't seen Sword Art Online Progressive, there's 2 movies more coming out. It follows the rewriting of Sword Art Online from the Progressive models. It does follow Asuna's point of view, but it actually tells you the full story, because there was characters cut out, there was flaws cut out, and you actually see some character growth. Whereas with Asuna, in the normal series, you don't see her character growth really until post Alfheim. Heck, no, I wouldn't even say that, because Gun Gale Online, you really see her, and
Alicization, really.
Literally. Alicization Part 2. Jeez. Whoa. Okay. Yeah. Wow, I didn't actually think about that. Jesus. Yeah. Okay.
Because Part 1 of Alicization, she really sort of gets her own in.
Yeah. But we love it all the same, and that's why it's ugly and not bad. So, we've gone over, like, the good, the bad, and the ugly, but why are we still attracted to Isekai?
I mean, there are so many answers to give. I mean, my blunt one, escapism. I wish.
Come on, you and me both know, buddy, that if we had the chance to go into SAO, we would have done it.
100%.
100%.
I don't expect you to have survived it. 100% I would have gone.
100%. Like it's as simple as that. Like, come on, that's an experience of a lifetime. You get to live in a fantasy world for years. Yeah, okay, your RL body might be literally withering around a hospital bed. You might be linked to a drip. Your family members might be fearing for your life and like crying over you for every day for the next 5 years. But you're having the time of your life, so trying to avoid PKs, trying to survive mobs, trying to get through the next floor. The possibility that the game's overlord is actually the leader of the best guild. But so long as you've got a Kirito in that world, you're all good. You're going to survive eventually. You're going to just be an NPC.
Although, I will say, like, the whole thing of, like, they can control your menu by moving your hand as you sleep, that needs to be patched the fuck out.
Yeah, that was, yeesh. That was nasty. Yeah, I agree though. Like the attraction of Isekai, I just think it's it's always those short animes, isekai, or those ones that you don't expect to get another season, and sometimes they do. They always they're usually great for the length that they are. And they a lot of the time they lead the way for like short form shows. Like you don't see many long form isekai like at all. Even SEO, like I'd loosely call it long form, in comparison to the likes of like Big Three and even smaller than that.
Yeah, I'd say it's not long form. It's more of a long running series.
Yeah, but like I just think it does the job well. It does the characters, the story well for the amount of time it has. Whereas, like I said, long form shows take a long time to get like their world building sorted because they got so much time that they can do it in. And yeah, escapism. It's a fantastic point.
Yeah. That's why I got sucked into WoW and other MMOs.
Now, obviously, guys, when you go into an isekai, you've kind of got to remember that you're not watching like another anime. You will have tropes. Like every anime has its tropes, dependent on the genre. Isekai is no different. You've obviously got your harem, right, Lilith?
What do you mean? What's a harem?
I'm sure you don't know what a harem is.
No.
So a harem, guys, is when the protagonist has a group of admirers or potential love interests surrounding him. I think key culprit here is animes like in Another World with My Smartphone, literally surrounded by his bitches.
Yeah. Besides, I know there would be some, but I can't really think of an isekai that doesn't have at least one love interest. Like, most want a harem or get one, but they pretty much all have at least a love interest.
Well, it's funny because you'll have those isekais as well that break the fourth wall, and they're like, damn it, I'm in an isekai, why don't I have a harem?
Yeah.
It's like isekai and harem go hand in hand.
Oh, fuck, no. I did think of one that kind of doesn't have a love interest. Kind of. What's it called? I got transported with an office worker who turned into an absolute bombshell.
Yeah, because they're technically bros.
Yeah.
God, that one was a hard watch for me as well. I wasn't as into it as I thought I would be.
It could have been better.
100%. What other tropes do we have, Lilith?
Well, I mean, much like myself, you have the the intelligent characters that their wiles and wit seem to just grasp the world.
Oh, you're that cocky dumbass. I know the one. We have the glasses, so I can do it. Uh-huh.
I am rather great. But yeah, no, like the smart cocky sort of, like you say, Villain in Glass is not so much cocky, but like Sora from No Game No Life, like he knows he's smart, he knows he's cocky, he also knows he's a dumbass.
Yeah. And guys, not to be confused with Sora, aka My Friends and My Power. Kingdom Hearts references. Yeah, I completely agree. The dumbass, smart, cocky motherfucker. Yeah, Sora. So you fit Sora's character so well.
I'll take that as a compliment.
You do that, buddy. I tell you what else you fit. The dumbass comic relief as well.
I'm sorry, but I think that people who watch our podcast regularly will know that you are the one who has been named as Klein.
You motherfucker. Yeah, Klein is a perfect example, guys, of a dumbass comic relief, but he's also a perfect example as the best friend, so I will take that as a compliment. Thank you very much. Because, Klein is best boy. Like, anyone who tells you different is lying, and he should have had more time on the screen in, like, every season.
Yeah.
Klein supremacy.
Not that far.
I mean, I'd even go as far to call him the Tsundere, but... But I think the perfect example for a tsundere would be a tsundere elf, guys, from Uncle from Another World. I'm not even gonna bother trying to read out her real name. It's a meme.
Oh, I was going to say, because I haven't seen that, so I was hoping you'd tell me her name.
Elga Suzaya Ligelias Gallian. No. No, just Google it, please. Save me a headache.
On screen here, hopefully. Maybe.
This guy.
Sorry, lamb.
So yeah, that's kind of like what encompasses what an isekai is. What we look for in an isekai. What makes a good isekai? What makes a bad isekai? What makes a mediocre isekai? So when we think of isekai, what is the first isekai that really comes to our heads? Who is the progenitor? Who is the godfather of isekai?
I mean, I really want to give you like the smart ass answer of like, you know, the older ones, but it's SAO.
Ironically, guys, this is a little debate for later on. We'll link it in here. Is that you know, it's a long age debate that SEO is an isekai because they're still in their own world. Well, you're all wrong because we read the definition earlier that me and Lilith did not think to read or write down in our notes earlier, and it literally says virtual worlds are isekai. So you're all wrong.
Yeah.
By definition, SEO is an isekai. Yeah, SEO 100% the Godfather. You know, it sets it. Whilst it may not be the best, and you know, the first one that comes to head is Mushoku Tensei. It paved the way.
Yeah, it's like
opened the door.
It's not the best. It wasn't the first, but it's what brought isekai into mainstream.
Exactly. It's like the Dragon Ball and Big Three kind of debate, where people are like, "Why is Dragon Ball not in the Big Three?" It's like, well, why is it was good for its time? It didn't open the way for anime. Whereas the Big Three did.
I mean, I'd argue that fact, but sure. At least for the West.
Definitely debatable. But it is. Say numbers don't lie, my friend.
Hey, well, I watched. I'm just should I go on in the side because this is Isekai. Like I watched Dragon Ball growing up before I was aware of what anime was, so it got me into it. But when I actually started watching anime for the sake of its anime, it was Bleach.
I'm gonna fuck with your brain. Dragon Ball is an isekai. Gets transported to a different world.
Literal translation, yes.
More than once. It's confirmed, guys. You're here to hear first. Dragon Ball is now an isekai.
There are those virtual training rooms they have.
Virtual training rooms. He literally goes to heaven. It's another plane of existence.
Yeah.
Dragon Ball's an isekai. Well, I don't know what to tell you guys. So the characteristics, though. So when we look at an isekai, right? You look at the main character. The main character is the focal point. There's, you know, we all have our own best boys and best skills. So who is a prime example of a best boy?
I mean, we've mentioned it above. You know, it's just a perfect isekai. It's Rimuru. He's adorable. He's funny. He's smart. He's stupid. Well overpowered. And let's be honest, because of the body he took, it's femboy is best boy.
I would like to argue a fact because he has the nickname the Black Swordsman, and I think the Black Swordsman is the best MC, the best boy. But not that Black Swordsman. I'm talking Kirito. And any of you who comes into the comments and say guts, you can leave. The door's open. No, in being genuine, they both have like the makings of a brilliant MC. You know, again, progenitor of isekai. I think Rimuru just grew off of it. It shows the inspirations they took and they grew on it. You know, Rimuru's happy-go-lucky, funny, strong as shit, friendly to everyone, has a tragic backstory, has emotions.
Throw my PC in the bath.
Destroy my hard drive! And the progenitor of Knifekun. Shanky, which then a lot of isekai followed, because apparently either getting stabbed or run over is the best way to die. I don't condone it. And then we have best girl, and me and Lilith are gonna fight.
we are, and you're just being basic.
Being basic. Dig that hole, buddy. Come on.
I'm digging that whole like
Come on.
you're going the basic ass choice. You're basically just going for the relationship couple at this point.
Am I?
Because it's got like I'm saying it's got to be Raftalia.
Imagine picking Raftalia, guys. Why Raftalia? Go on, lay it on me.
She is adorable. She has the whole character arc of where she starts off really weak and innocent, and as she gets stronger, she becomes more independent, more able to do stuff. She's not necessarily leaning. She is completely loyal to her friends. She will do literally anything for them. She is a perfect character, even down to her faults, like the PTSD and the fact that she is at least in the country that it's set in at the minute, they're a like looked down upon race, and she's still rising above all that. How is she not best girl?
I mean, come on. Come on. No,
I'm
serious,
not-
guys. Like,
I was going to say it.
I like Raftalia. Okay, I'm just doing it to annoy Love. I like Raftalia. I like Shield Hero. I can 100% see why people would say Raftalia is best girl.
Don't lose the
Obviously,
lolly.
I would love to argue that Asuna is best girl, again for the same reasons as Kirito. However, throwing a little curveball, because I haven't even written this in the notes. I had 24 hours to think on this, okay? And I 180'd, and I put Asuna in a second.
Oh.
Because there's one female character I prefer more. And that is Azusa Aizawa. For I've been killing slimes for 300 years and maxed out my level. I was reading the manga, because I've volume 1 and volume 2. And I just forgot how much I love that character. She does everything for the village. She's been by herself for years and has not been horrible. She's only murdered slimes, which, I mean, come on, they're slimes. They haven't got feelings.
I think you'll find they do. That is a plot point.
And the character design as well, I think, is gorgeous. Raftalia's got nothing on her, sorry, mate.
I'll say she's a good shout. I'll stick with my Raftalia.
And then we have, like, you've got those protagonists as well, where they are fucked up behind all means. Their worldview and the way people view them. Just take Sid Kagano, guys, okay, from Eminence of Shadow. This guy has 3 different personas. So, he's got his high school persona, which everyone knows him by. He's got his leader of his cult, which everybody also knows him by and are, like, wary of him, but he's done good, but he's done bad as well. And then you've got that weird persona that he uses in the arena. Everyone just sees him as this overpowered dick. Yet, in actuality, he's just nice to them all when he's in his own world. And this is because when he was took into this world, he's always wanted to be, like, uber powerful and be like, if you guys have seen Naruto and know Sasuke is the Shadow Kage, he basically wants to be a Shadow Kage and do anything from the shadows and be a hero from the shadows. He wants to be the Edgelord. I know what you're thinking of.
Mikey?
And so he thinks this is all a game set up by them. And the God complex is real. That's what you call a well-written but twisted as fuck MC. Can't be a best boy because he's too twisted. If you call him a best boy, I'm worried for you and I want you in prison.
As a fellow shout-out, Naofumi.
Oh god, yeah.
Like, the world despises him through no fault of his own, and he has to trudge through that.
Yep. Oh, Naofumi. Like, that guy is just... I feel for him. I do. But we don't talk about season 2.
There isn't a season 2.
Are we talking about the same Naofumi?
Yeah,
From Shield
Raftalia's
Hero.
not. Yeah, Shield Hero.
There is a season 2.
No, no.
Yes, there is.
No.
Yes, there is. Oh, no, there's not.
Fucking hell, he's slow. Guys, is it too late to, like, stop this show?
Get that out, lamp.
No.
I can't. I made the joke, and then I didn't realize you picked up on the joke. God's sake. Yeah. Okay. Moving on. And you guys almost, like briefly, the settings of these places usually as well are either post-apocalyptic or fantasy. Harem in a lab, sorry, not Harem in a lab to another world. That's one that I'm not talking about. Not parallel world pharmacy. Fuck me. You carry on, I need to find what it's called.
So, as he's saying, they generally seem to be fantasy based. So you got things like Shield Hero, reincarnated as a slime, Gate.
And then you've got World's End Harem.
Exactly.
Post-apocalyptic isekai baby brewing. That's literally what it is.
I'm just glad that you could see me staring at you through the screen.
I can feel it, dude. I can feel it. So yeah, like the settings are typically, kind of fantasy based and things like that, and that's why we love it, because it's escapism yet again. So like obviously though, isekai over time has evolved. We now have different types. So just like the subgenres of like you have anime and you have genres of anime, and if isekai is a genre of anime, and you have subgenres of isekai. So is it an action isekai? Is it a slice of life? Are we looking at pharmaceutical? Maybe a harem, R-rated comedy? And I'm pretty sure we can both think of a lot of examples for those.
Yeah, I mean, World's End Harem.
For fuck's sake. Harem in the Labyrinth of Another World.
Like slice of life, because you mentioned it earlier, and it was a great shout. Like, killing slimes for 300 years is such a cute slice of life anime.
Yeah, I love it. That's for sure. And I think that's what I like to see is like not all isekai are just action based anymore, and that's what we needed, because it was getting stale. If they don't evolve, then the genre's just gonna die. That's all that will happen.
And whilst this will be brought up later and swiftly overlooked for obvious reasons, you even have things that, whilst they are action, they try to take it another route with what may or may not be failed comedy, as Do You Love Your Mum and a 2-hit multi-target attacks.
God, we don't talk about that show, okay? Guy has mommy issues.
No, mummy has son issues.
Mommy has son issues. Like, and it's not even like, oh, what you doing, stepmom? No, it's no.
Oh, grant you, I haven't seen. I've only seen like the first 2 or 3 episodes, but like the son just wants a normal life. He doesn't want to do all this shit with his mom.
This has been forced on him. This is We need to get that guy some help. So let's talk about one of the interesting things in isekai now, and that's the absurd power leveling and power scaling. What have you got to say on it, love?
I mean, it goes for the escapism angle as well. So especially with like Kirito, I think one of the reasons he gets a lot of hate, like I said with Asuna, is that she is kind of bland, and he is as well. But I think that's intentional. He's meant to be like the protagonist that you put your face on. You live through him. So a lot of it is like you want to be that character. You want to be the big, strong, absolute badass that can do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah,
and like. Yeah, like the example that, for me would be Izuyoi Sakamaki from Modern Taiju Tachi, or Problem Children Are Coming from Another World, aren't they? He like literally he gets summoned to this other world, runs off on his own, finds a water god, and literally just kicks it in the head and kills it. When they try to level his power, it literally comes up as unknown. It cannot read that he is that strong.
And that's more common than you think in anime, guys. That's actually a real common trope that's coming out more and more now. Is that, oh no, this guy's too powerful, it cannot be read. Or in the opposite, like, this guy's power is too weak, it cannot be read, it's that weak. There never seems to be a middle ground for an isekai protagonist. They're either insanely overpowered or insanely weak as shit, or have that one useless ability that they somehow make work. Campfire cooking in Another World, I'm looking at you.
I'm sorry, I just coughed trying to say Arafuata, but I meant Aesthetica.
Oh, Aesthetica of a rogue hero.
Yeah. So it has like the one band, it's like, it's doing nothing. Hey, try wearing 12.
I'm like as an example, guys, like insanely overpowered. Look at like Ainzol Gon, and then if you compare something like a weak like Kazuma from like Konosuba, both Isekai characters, two totally different levels, completely.
Yeah, I mean,
And Kazuma has it even harder when his whole party is kind of just fucked up.
hey, what's fucked up about his party? Yeah,
Okay, you have a horny, useless paladin.
she's not useless.
She's useful in the right scenarios, and that is very few. You have a paramaniac
Yeah.
who cannot control her flames.
The best type of mage.
This type of mage. And then you have a goddess. Who
Exactly.
Is also useless.
She is a goddess.
She's the meme of the series. She's
Absolutely.
a living meme. And then you have Ainzol going in his harem. And you know what? We won't even go through his harem. Just look at Albedo and be done with it.
Yeah.
That's all you need. Albedo is love, Albedo is life.
I would buy the Ainzol gold body pillow though.
Of course you would.
Tell me you
Of course
would.
you would. I mean, it's a bit too all, bony for me. Too many hard edges.
From Edgy the fucking head sheet over there.
Yeah, that was a thing, guys. And then, obviously, when we look at Isekai as well, they always have a good plot, but a lot of them have a good B plot as well. You brought this one up.
Yeah, so like usually, you've got the main protagonist sort of doing their thing. And the example I actually thought of for this, which isn't quite loved as a great anime for many reasons, but Fruit of Evolution, because you've got the main character doing his thing, like getting his harem, doing the stereotypical isekai shit, but then it keeps flashing back to like his class, and they're just doing their own stuff. They're living their life, doing like, hey, we need to save the world kind of isekai stuff.
Yeah, there's a couple like it. Soma Spider So What does the same thing.
So good.
I like it, but I always find myself frustrated as well because I'm like, I want them to reunite. I need them
Yeah.
to reunite with the rest of them so they can see how overpowered this guy's become.
Yeah.
I'd put some respect in his name. Like that's how I end up feeling with it. And like the whole ape at the start of Fruit. Do you know how long it took me to watch Fruit of Evolution because the ape in the thumbnail just put me off? Genuinely, I was like, dude, I am not watching this ape for 2 seasons. I'm not doing it. So yeah, I was happy with.
Luckily, you don't see the ape for 2 seasons.
Thank fuck for that. There needs to be a disclaimer on the front of that. So yeah, a strong B plot is also very, very well done, and always needed, I think.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mikey. Am I boring you?
No, would you ever do such a thing? I would never say you're boring me. You're just not that entertaining.
Oh, you're gonna have a fun time soon.
It was a timed yawn, okay, for us to go into our break point. Let's all take a breath. Lilith is still holding her breath. Lilith?
No, I'm just slow and deep breaths of, I'm not gonna kill Mikey. I'm not gonna kill Mikey.
She has a dartboard in her house with my face in it. She threw darts at it.
You think there's only one?
So, let's have a look at some notable isekai. So, like, if you could recommend a mainstream and a niche isekai, what would it be?
I mean, mainstream, I'd have to go Shield Hero. Because, say what you want about Season 2, like, I don't think it was as bad as people say. It was not amazing by any stretch, and it did not live up to Season 1. But Season 1, in my opinion, is a flawless anime, let alone isekai. It is just, it's perfect. For a more niche one, oh, I don't know. I'm gonna have to check that. You, what's your mainstream?
My mainstream? Oh, the mainstream one is kind of tough. There's so many good big mainstream isekais that I have loved over the years completely. I think I would have to say probably that time I got reincarnated as a slime. to be like my favorite mainstream, because it's just like I said, it's perfect. I never have like any issues with it, and I think it did everything right. I'd also tag along with it ReZero as well, because ReZero doesn't get enough love.
Fair, yeah. I still need to watch season 2, but yeah.
And then like as for a niche, like there's so many again that I could like say both good and bad just because I love them. Oh god, if I had to pick one, then probably the strongest sage with the weakest crest is the one from the most recent memory I liked that was niche.
Nice. That's a good show.
And mainstream. I also would tag in along with that Remake Our Life. Totally different type of Isekai, but
Real life.
Real Life.
Oh, Real Life is so good. I'm also giving a shout out to Erased for that, but yeah. I've got one. It's a question mark on if it's an isekai, because they're not trapped in another world. It's the virtual thing, but again, it's not trapped. They go back and forth. It's just a game thing. It's more of a slice of life thing. But I'm counting it. I don't care. Fuck you all. And you thought there is never a girl online.
It's an isekai. I'll give it, because again, it's the online aspect. Yeah. I mean, I haven't seen a lot. Have I seen it? I know it. I think I've seen it.
It's kind of like the tone of it is Chunibayo meets Watamote.
I have seen it. Yes. Yeah. I can agree. I think it's a good one.
That I think needs more love.
Do you know what doesn't need more love?
What's that, Mikey?
The fucking term Demon Lord. And how it's overused in every single fucking isekai.
But Mouse-hammer?
No. Yeah, so like, jokes aside, guys, like genuinely, I wish these shows would come up with a more intriguing title for the villain other than the Demon Lord. Like, it's a meme at this point. Who's the villain? Oh, I bet it's the Demon Lord.
Well,
like,
I think half the time it's not even the villain; it's the main character.
Yeah.
Shout out to Devil as a part-timer.
Yeah.
Or How Not to Summon a Demon Lord.
Like literally. Like it genuinely unintentionally became a trope. And I just think it like it was definitely around before the isekai boom. But it's still like the big thing.
Yeah.
There's a couple of things that fit in with this. Okay, so the main lead character is usually either an office worker or an ordinary high school student or something along those lines. You obviously got the funny ones, which is Truck-kun, Knife-kun, another normal like thing that's just become a thing. The trope of there's not usually any way to get home. The harem, as we covered. That's another thing, actually. Power leveling that we didn't mention. Why are most of these power levels based on video games? Even when they're not video game based, a lot of the power leveling is usually based on a video game.
It is. And I think like a lot of it could is down to cultural stuff. So like I'm unaware. I don't know if the Demon Lord thing is more of a cultural thing, which is why we just see it as overused. To them, it might just be a general, But with the video games, I think that is on many degrees like lazy writing, because it's what we as a society recognize and what we're aware of. Like I've actually there's an audiobook a series that I listen to, which is not anime related in any way, shape, or form, but because it is an isekai, I'll just mention it quickly. The main character goes into the other world and he gets sword, sorcery, magic, all this shit. And he has the overlay of like video game-esque stuff. He has like a quest log. He has, map, all this shit. And later on down the line, it's found out, the reason that he has that is that the magic warps itself to something that he would recognize. So, like, someone who came from a different universe would see something totally different to what he does.
Yeah.
Which I think would be a good excuse.
Yeah, it's just like another overused trope, like Demon Lord. Like, again, Another trope in the MC is always dance to romance, so you have the same creatures in every world. The main lead is always able to utilize their past lives knowledge perfectly. Or, there's so many, but like Demon Lord is just a meme that sticks out to me. Linking in with this as well is the trope in Isekai recently, which is, why are the fucking titles so long? Why do they have to write a 3-line sentence for an anime title?
You mean like Mojun Daiji Tachi ga Isekai Karakuru so desu yo?
Translation: Do you love your mum and 2-hit title? Oh no, wait.
No. That is modern children coming from another world, aren't they? Fuck you.
Why didn't I write the Shit! I should have written the translation for that. Yes, sorry. A good example. Another good example is, do you love your mum and 2-hit multi-target attacks? Or I've been killing slimes for 300 years and maxed out my level. It's like fits under 3 lines due to the font and stuff that they put on for it. I'm like, why? I've seen manga where the title takes up like half of the front fucking cover because it's that long.
Yeah, I think this isn't so much of an isekai. Like, this is just a general anime thing. But you got things like you say, do you love your own 2 attacks? Been killing slime for 300 years. In this mundane world, 2 weebs discuss isekai whilst avoiding doing more important things in life.
I love that manga.
There is so much like long named thing. I love it, to be honest. Like, I think it's great.
I'm bitching, but I love it too. It's hilarious because people just cry about it and complain about it.
Because both Fury is another great example.
Exactly.
Both Fury, I don't want to get hurt, so I'll max out my defense. Not a isekai, but just to say the concept of anime. Shimoneta, a boring world where the concept of dirty jokes don't exist.
Yeah. Like, it isn't like exclusive to isekai, but it's very prevalent in the isekai scene.
Very much.
Which is what makes it hilarious. Yeah, it's words.
World end. What do you do at the end of the world? Are you busy? Will you save us?
I don't know. Will you?
I mean, outlook's looking bleak for you, but your Rhea statue will be safe and sound.
I bet it will be, buddy. And then the ball's sticky too. Dirty
bastard.
So, back to it, guys. So we covered it earlier on in the episode. Gonna cover it again. I know it's gonna be less of a debate, more than we know the answer. But are Full Dive anime classified as an isekai? SAO, Log Horizon, both Furia, Cell World, etc. That's been a long-lasting debate in this scene for ages, and now I'm of the mind of why. There's a literal definition.
Probably just because people are getting hung up on the another world type thing, and it's like, but it's still their own world. Yeah, whatever. Like Log Horizon, like literally isn't. It's like, yes, it's a game that they had in their own world, but they were literally just sucked into it. Like,
yeah,
they there is no back and forth. Like, it's a separate thing for them. SAO, I mean, sure, it's Full Dive, but they were trapped as far as they were concerned for those 3 years. That was their life.
Yeah. And that's kind of like where we go with it. So obviously you have different types of isekai, like the reverse isekai, simul isekai, etc., which we'll get into a little bit more in a moment. But like, if you can have isekai which allows you to transport back and forth into the world, if you can have isekai which involves you being reversed, you've just finished your fantasy world and you've come back home, which there is an isekai based on that, and I can't remember what it was called.
Yeah.
Like,
Static Rogue Hero is one of them.
Yeah, so like, why can't it? Doesn't make any sense at all. So yes, I'm of the opinion Full Dive is isekai. But how do we set ourselves apart from the rest? And who did it good and who did it bad, Lilith?
I mean, honestly, like the best isekai is My Dress Up Darling.
I'm sorry?
My Dress Up Darling. So lad is he's very much in the world of making these little Japanese dolls, and he wants to do his grandfather proud, follow on the legacy, and he gets pulled into this alternative world of cosplay and like socializing with people.
You've literally just described a guy coming out of his shell. That's not an isekai, my guy. I will shoot that point down.
Tell me he doesn't go into another world.
Look, you get points for marrying, and that's it.
I'll take it.
I think he did do it good, and is a clear track record of doing it good. Is Mushoku Tensei. You know, everyone loves Mushoku Tensei. Everyone refers to it when they're thinking about Isekai. It's like on level with Slime.
Yeah, and I will just give a shout out to that because I watched it in dubbed, and the voices were on point, and the fact that you had like this little kid like talking in like a little kid voice, and then like when he's doing his internal monologue, you have this like big, deep, sort of manly voice that sounds kind of creepy, to be honest. It's amazing.
I love it. There was a recent Isekai that came out, which was like he's reborn as like a little girl, and for like in his infant years, he still had like the inner monologue of like the old man. That was funny until he like grew up. And then who did it bad, Lilith? Go on. You can lead the way for this one.
So I will do. First of all, is it she professed herself as pupil of the wise man that you were thinking of?
Possibly. Yeah.
Maybe. But as for who did it bad, I'm more than happy to take the stick from this because this was my shout. I think In Another World with My Smartphone is a bad isekai. I think it's enjoyable. I think, you know, I'll sit and watch it, and I still need to watch season 2. But I sat down, and I enjoyed season 1. It was enjoyable to me, but it does absolutely nothing new. It is paint by numbers. The anime.
I'm not ordaining it with the response
because you know I'm right.
Maybe. Like we've talked about this Isekai and Simon Isekai guys, but yeah, again, you know, aesthetic of a rogue hero, recreators. I got Sheets Go Another World have come unrivaled in the real world too. I'm standing on a million knives. These are just examples of like other types of Isekai. You know, it's not always what you're going into a fancy world. You can be coming back home. You can have a way of going in and in between worlds.
Yeah.
You can even go into game worlds, guys. Remember that. I'm looking at you, Soda Online, who is an Isekai. But that is what is an Isekai, guys. That's what makes a good Isekai. Those are the shows that we have named and those ones that we love. And I think it's a very well written genre.
It can be.
It can
be. There's this good and this bad. You know, I love this. I love the genre warts and all. Like you've got your highs, like Shield Hero, Sword Art Online, No Game No Life. You've got your lows, and I'll sit there and watch them all anyway.
I agree. So that's pretty much it, guys, for episode 1 of ITMWTWDIWADTMITIL.
Mundane World.
Yeah, Mundane World. We'll name it Mundane World.
Oh, no. It's got the full title name. I'm not backing down from that.
As always, guys, so episode 2, we will start looking more in depth on certain anime, certain characters, and having more in-depth discussions based around those. This is an introduction to the world of Isekai for yourselves with your very two well-known Isekai weebs, because that is the shit that we have to jump on. If you like our content, please check out thelamsyshow.com where you can keep up to date with our latest news and our latest shows, be it the podcast, the game show, the Gundam show, this show, to be determined. There's so many shows and content you guys can catch up with right now, and more on the way. Please feel free to come along. And yeah, we will be back with you with another episode next month. And more customary bullying of Mikey from Lilith, because it's what she enjoys.
I mean, you get us through the podcast as well. I'd hate to let you down on this show. But don't forget, you know, be nice to Mikey. Go to twitch.tv/MikeyRPGamer and, you know, bully the fuck out of him.
Oh, that's the other thing as well, guys. You can find my D&D campaign there, but you can also find it now on the Lambency Show. Now that it has finally been ported across, so if you want to catch up with previous episodes, please feel free to head along to thelamsyshow.com, and you can find that there as well. I knew there's something I missed out. And on that note, I think we're done.
Yay.
Catch you next time, guys.
Bye.
Bye.